Attorney General Sessions appoints White House lawyer as acting administrator of the DEA who previously misled President Trump about his authority to fire Comey, by Christina Layla for the GatewayPundit.com. On Monday, Attorney General Jeff Sessions appointed White House lawyer Tom Dillon as acting administrator of the Drug Enforcement Administration. Tom Dillon previously worked as the director of the Department of Homeland Security's Office of Counter-Narcotics Enforcement and as an associate deputy attorney general for the Justice Department, reported the Examiner. Dillon also previously misled President Trump about his authority to fire then FBI Director James Comey, according to a January 2018 New York Times article. Even worse, once Dillon researched and concluded President Trump indeed has the authority to fire the FBI director without cause, he never corrected the record and withheld the conclusions from his research. Well, I would say it's basically the same thing that Sessions did. Sessions recused himself under a wrong law. Okay? So now Sessions is appointing this guy who didn't let Trump know the truth about his ability to fire Comey any time he chose. Excerpt from January 2018 New York Times article. After that hearing, Mr. Trump began to discuss openly with White House officials his desire to fire Mr. Comey. This unnerved some inside the White House counsel's office and even led one of Mr. Gann's deputies to mislead the president about his authority to fire the FBI director. The lawyer, Tom Dillon, was convinced that if Mr. Comey was fired, the Trump presidency could be imperiled because it would force the Justice Department to open an investigation into whether Mr. Trump was trying to derail the Russia investigation. Well, they did that anyway, because they're actually, Mueller is calling Trump out for obstruction because he fired Comey. That's the obstruction he's talking about. And also with Flynn. But, well, Mueller has free rein anyway. Long-standing analysis of presidential power says that the president, as the head of the executive branch, does not need grounds to fire the FBI director. Mr. Dillon, a veteran Justice Department lawyer before joining the Trump White House, assigned a junior lawyer to examine this issue. The lawyer determined that that the FBI director was no different than any other employee in the executive branch, and that there was nothing prohibiting the president from firing him. But Mr. Dillon, who had earlier told Mr. Trump that he needed cause to fire Mr. Comey, never corrected the record, withholding the conclusions of his research. Stephen I. Vladek, a law professor at the University of Texas School of Law, called the episode extraordinary, adding that he could not think of a similar one that occurred in past administrations. So you see the people even inside the Trump administration trying to, mislead the president. Jeff Sessions appointed this Trump hater as acting administrator of the Drug Enforcement Administration. Let that sink in. Announcement from the DOJ here. The Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced Tom Dillon as new acting administrator of Drug Enforcement Administration. There you go, right here. Zoe Tillman, AG Sessions, who appointed White House lawyer Tom Dillon as acting administrator of the DEA. You may remember Dillon from a New York Times story in January that reported that he withheld info from Trump about the president's ability to fire James Comey. But I like that line. He appoints him, and this is the one that misled Trump. Let that sink in. Yeah, it's sinking in, but it's sinking in and it's very disturbing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.